Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome, guys. We are
John
and
Pat.
And collectively we are Surviving on the Cheap.
We are.
And we're coming back with the barrage of knife reviews.
Oh, yes.
We're going to do them in pairs. Today we have the... What do you have, John?
Cold Steel Tuff Lite.
I have the Spyderco Ambitious.
Oh, yeah.
Two knives, if you look at these. Basically very similar in blade shape, size, and price point. So we're going to give you a little close-up. Hey, come on in.
I'm down here.
There you go.
Hi, welcome.
John, why don't you talk about yours first?
All right. So as I said, I have here the Cold Steel Tuff Lite. This is basically Cold Steel's idea of a EDC knife. Most of their knives are big and tactical looking. This one is not at all. It doesn't have a tactical blade shape in my opinion, and it's very small. But moving on. The blade material they used is AUS 8, which they use a lot in a lot of their products. Blade material that I really like. It's very, very comparable to the ATR 13 that the Ambitious over here is made out of. Very, very similar in chemical makeup. If you look at a Steel's chart, they look almost exactly the same. The handle material on this one, however, is something called Grivery. I guess it's a glass reinforced nylon, as I tell. They're all basically the same. They're a hardened plastic polymer. This is just their specific makeup. It's called Grivery. It's actually pretty grippy. In texturing, it actually feels really good in the hand. You have a little bit of texture to it. It kind of feels, I don't know, if I had to compare it to something maybe G10-ish. It kind of feels like G10.
G10-esque.
Yeah, G10-esque, I guess you could say. But I really like it. Something else that this knife has that's really cool is the Triad locking mechanism. So, as you can see, it's a lockback. But normal lockbacks, the back of the lock bar and the back of the knife tang meet up, not in the Triad lock. In the Triad lock, there's an interrupter bar that's in there, basically a stop pin. And that makes the knife really, really strong because all the abuse that is hitting the blade is transmitted to that lock bar first. Or is transmitted to that stop pin first instead of hitting the lock bar, it really helps with strength in the knife. Also makes it last a lot longer. This is self-adjusting for wear, which is really, really cool. So, and lockup, by the way, is solid as a rock. I've had other lockbacks in the past that just didn't work out. Not that they didn't work out, but they had a lot of up and down play. This has nothing, which is really good. The weight on this bad boy is a really, really slim 2.5 ounces. Makes it really, really easy to carry. It doesn't weigh anything. That's because it has no steel liners in it, which I like. You don't need them, especially with a strong hardened plastic like Grivery. The overall length of this knife is right around 6 inches, which I think is perfect for EDC tasks. The blade length is about 2.5 inches, which I also think is perfect. And the blade shape is like a Warncliffe kind of sheep split blade, which is not really scary for all those people out there in the world who don't like knives, which is a lot of people. So this just looks very, very mundane. It looks more like a box cutter than a pocket knife. And probably the best part about this knife is the fact that it's only $25. $25 will get you this knife, which is amazing. The sharpness on it is superb. The steel is awesome. The handle material is great. The feel is excellent. It's got great jimping up on the top. Locks your thumb in real well. This thing is really, really ergonomic. So for the $25 that you're going to spend on this, I think you're getting an awesome, awesome deal. So I'm definitely, on the buy past junk scale, going to give it a buy. And now, it's Patrick's turn.
With the Spyderco Ambitious. This is, as I just said, the Spyderco Ambitious. Is this the smallest one in the line?
Mm-hmm.
It is. And if you want the bigger one, we have the Brazilians, which we'll be seeing. But just, I mean, it's just big. But still cool. But the Ambitious is a smaller knife, on the same size as John's. We'll get that in a second. The blade steel in this, ATR 13 MOV, pretty much a Spyderco standard. I have not had any rusting problems, but I've had it only for about a week or so. But I've been putting it to the test, and I've been carrying it every single day on me, doing anything from cutting zip ties to packages open to cutting through duct tape and Gorilla Tape and stuff like that, and it's still razor sharp. The handle itself is G10, which is really nice because of its grippy, traction-y nature. And speaking of traction, Spyderco always has great jimping on the knives because not only is the jimping itself pretty good, but there's a nice steep rake, right? So you can just lock your thumb right in there, do some stabbing motions with it. That's John's official test right there.
What's the jimping test?
The jimp test is give it a good stab. Oh yeah, feels good in the hand. Also, the liners are inside the knife are skeletonized full steel liners. It's a liner lock, as you can see, right in there. The liners are Spyderco liners are always really good. They're always really strong. They're well made, and the fact that they're skeletonized is great because it takes off a couple ounces off the weight. Speaking of the weight, this is a 3.04 ounce knife, which John's is a little bit lighter, but I mean, this is 3.04 ounces is still. I've had it in my pocket and I barely noticed that it's there. But that's also due to the size of the knife. The knife overall, just like John's, is 6 inches long, and the blade itself is only 2.5. So that means that when the knife's closed, you got a 3.5 inch pocket decoration basically, and that's it. It folds up pretty small, but you can, as you can see, it's still got the nice little bird eye, so you can pop the knife right open. That's one thing I love about. I don't know. I used to hate it, but the opening mechanism is cool.
Hole.
You can kind of, let's see if I can do it. Failure. Last attempt. Ready? Nope. Okay. So that was embarrassing, but it's all right. Also, this knife you can carry it tip up, tip down, left or right. I currently have it tip up for a lefty because I carry all my knives in my left pocket, unlike most righties who carry the knives in the right. I'm a righty and I have my watch on the wrong hand too. Go figure.
Crazy times.
I know. But all things considered, the knife is only $34, which is about $10 more than John's. But it's still, you still get a great quality knife. Ooh, I just noticed this little burr. I gotta sharpen this bad boy. That's because I was using it. But for $34, you still get that great quality Spyderco knife. They look great. I just love the full flat. It's a beautiful knife. So for $34, I say, you know what, buy it. And if it's too small for you, still buy it anyways, just so you can add it to the collection. And then you just jump up right to this bad boy and go with the Resilience.
Or the Tenacious, which we've already reviewed.
Which is slightly smaller. But yeah, so these are both two great knife options. We have the, over here.
They look like animals because they got the opening holes. Like.
They look like the bald eagle from the Muppets.
That's it.
That's it right there. But yeah, $34, $25. You can find them both on Amazon.
Yes, you can.
We'll post a link to those in the descriptions below. Make sure to check both these companies out. Cold Steel has a lot of great knives. So does Spyderco. If Spyderco is too expensive, go with Bird.
Exactly. Can't go wrong with
Bird
knives.
Same thing basically, just a different name. Slightly different materials, but you still get the same blade quality for a little bit less. So yeah, check both these knives out. Until next time.
I am John.
And I'm Pat. And collectively, we are surviving on a cheap.
Peace out, home slices.